The forest was silent, like a waiting predator. Officer Jack Riley lay motionless on the cold, wet ground, the weight of his body pressing him deeper into the earth. Blood seeped through his uniform. His heartbeat slow and erratic as it fought to stay alive. The gunfight had been swift, unanticipated, a silent ambush. He'd been shot twice, once in the shoulder and once in the leg. He could barely breathe without agony searing through his chest. He tried to lift his head, but everything swam in his vision. His legs were immobilized, his arm numb. His radio was shattered, and his phone was nowhere to be found. His only thought was survival. But even that seemed like a distant hope. He didn't have much time. He was alone. There was no one coming for him. Jack's mind, clouded with pain and fading consciousness, wandered back to his partner, Max, the K-9 who had always been by his side. Max had been the best partner he could ever have hoped for. Together, they'd tackled dangerous criminals, chased down suspects, and had each other's backs without question. But that was before the department decided that Max was too old, too slow, and they sent him away to live with a family who didn't know what it meant to be a working dog. The memories of Max flooded Jack's mind, and a bitter pang of regret twisted his chest. If only Max were here now, he thought, maybe this wouldn't have happened. Maybe he wouldn't be lying here alone, waiting to die. Just as the last remnants of hope seemed to vanish, Jack heard something. A rustle. It wasn't the wind. Something, or someone, was moving toward him. His pulse quickened. Was it an animal? A person? Could it be? Through the trees, emerging from the shadows, Jack's heart skipped a beat as he saw the unmistakable shape of a dog. Max. Max. The dog he had thought was gone forever. Jack's vision blurred as he tried to focus. But the silhouette of Max grew clearer as the K-9 moved toward him with deliberate steps. His eyes locked onto Jack's face. Max! Jack's voice barely escaped his lips, the word trembling in his throat. His hand reached out weakly, trying to grasp the fur of his companion. But the effort was too much. His arm fell limp at his side, and his head lolled back onto the ground. The pain in his leg was unbearable. He couldn't keep his eyes open. Max was here, but would he be able to save him in time? The bond between them was undeniable, unspoken, yet stronger than any words could describe. Jack had never questioned Max's loyalty. He had always known that the dog would do anything to protect him. But now, Max was just a memory, a loyal companion sent away when the department deemed him too old. Max wasn't supposed to be here. The dog sniffed Jack's hand, and then his nose moved to Jack's face, nudging him gently. Jack's heart ached. It was as if Max was trying to reassure him, to tell him that everything would be okay. Jack could hardly process what was happening. His partner, the one he had thought he'd lost, was standing over him, refusing to leave. "Help me, Max," Jack whispered. His throat tightened with emotion. He had never expected this, never imagined that his dog would return. Not like this. Not after everything that had happened. Max didn't bark. He didn't whine. He simply stood, looking back toward the woods. He was waiting for something. Something Jack didn't understand. Jack's mind raced. There was only one thing left to do. "Go, Max," Jack whispered hoarsely. "Go get help." Without another moment's hesitation, Max turned and bolted into the woods, his powerful legs propelling him forward. Jack watched, his chest tightening with hope and desperation. Could Max do it? Could he find help in time? Every second that passed felt like an eternity. The silence of the forest pressing on Jack, and he could feel the life slipping away from his body. The pain in his chest, his leg. Everything hurt so badly, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. But he had to hold on. He couldn't give up. Not now. Not with Max out there, trying to save him. Max was faster than Jack had ever seen him move before. His limbs, though older, carried him through the woods with purpose. He was driven by the bond he shared with Jack, a bond that had never been broken, no matter the distance or time apart. The air was thick with tension, and Max's senses were on high alert. He could feel the urgency in Jack's voice, the desperation. He had been trained for moments like this, but he had never had to face the truth that his partner, his human, was in grave danger. Max's powerful legs pushed him forward through the trees, the sounds of forest fading into the background. His mind was focused solely on one task, reaching the rescue team. He had to get help. Jack's life depended on it. Through the thick forest, Max's ears perked up, the sound of human voices. He was close. The rescuers were near. He sprinted faster, his paws pounding against the earth. His instincts were razor-sharp, guiding him toward the sound. Max knew this was his moment to be the hero. Max's nose twitched as he picked up the faintest hint of Jack's scent mixed with the metallic smell of blood. He was close. He had to be. The rescue team appeared through the trees, but they weren't alone. Max had led them straight to Jack. The officers on the team moved quickly, assessing the situation. One of them rushed to Jack's side, checking for signs of life. His pulse was weak, but he was alive. "He's alive," the medic confirmed, relief flooding his voice. "We need to get him stabilized now." Max stood by, his gaze fixed on Jack. He didn't move. His presence was a silent promise to Jack that he wasn't alone. The K-9 had done his job. He had found Jack. He had brought the rescue team. But the work wasn't over. Jack needed to be moved. Quickly, the rescue team worked in unison, strapping Jack to a stretcher. Max stayed close, his eyes never leaving Jack's face. He had been there through every trial, every battle. He had been Jack's partner, and nothing, not age, not retirement, could break that bond. As the paramedics lifted Jack onto the stretcher, Max followed, walking alongside them. The bond between them was irreplaceable. Even as Jack's body was loaded into the helicopter, Max never strayed far. His loyalty was unwavering. He had returned when Jack needed him the most, and he would never leave him. The journey to the hospital was long, but Jack barely noticed the time passing. His mind was a haze of pain, his body overwhelmed by the strain of his injuries. He could hear the sounds of the helicopter blades slicing through the air, but the noise felt distant, muted. His thoughts were focused on Max. Was Max okay? Had he been hurt? Jack couldn't remember when he had last seen the dog. But he knew one thing for sure. Max had saved his life. Max had come back when no one else could. Max had found him, led the rescue team, and kept him alive. When Jack woke up in the hospital, he was disoriented. His body felt heavy, sore, and every inch of him screamed in pain. But then, through the haze, he saw something. Max was there, lying quietly at the foot of his bed, watching over him like a guardian. Jack's heart swelled with emotion. The dog was still there, still by his side, just like before. "Max!" Jack whispered, his voice hoarse. "You're still here." Max's tail gave a small wag, and he nudged Jack's hand gently. Jack's eyes filled with tears. He had never realized just how much Max meant to him. The dog had been his partner, his protector. But now he was more than that. Max was a hero. He had saved Jack's life, had fought to bring him back from the brink of death. As the doctors came in to check on Jack's condition, they confirmed what Max already knew. Jack was going to recover. It would take time, but Jack would be okay. Max had done what he was trained to do, protect his partner. But it wasn't just training that had brought Max back to Jack. It was loyalty, love, and an unbreakable bond. Jack smiled, his heart full of gratitude. "Thank you, Max. I wouldn't be here without you." Max looked up at him with calm, understanding eyes, his tail thumping softly against the floor. Jack's recovery was slow, but every day he grew stronger, and Max never left his side. Weeks passed, and Jack's recovery was coming along. The doctors had given him a clean bill of health. But Jack knew the real healing was taking place in his heart. One evening, as the sun set in the distance, Jack stood outside, his hand resting on the fence as Max sat beside him. The orange and pink hues of the sky mirrored the warmth in Jack's chest. Max was still with him. His loyal K-9 companion, who had been cast aside by the department, had returned to save his life. Jack ran his fingers through Max's fur, feeling the strength and warmth that had never left him. "You saved me, buddy," Jack said softly, his voice filled with emotion. "Always had my back, huh?" Max let out a soft woof, his eyes never leaving Jack's. The bond between them was deeper than anything Jack had ever known. They had been through so much together. And no matter what the future held, Jack knew they would face it together. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Jack and Max stood side by side, the silence of the evening wrapping around them like a blanket. They were more than just partners, they were family, and that was something that would never change.